Excuse me. Pardon me.
Hey, sit down.
I might sound like a dick, but no, screw them. Why? Why should a director change their work like that in terms of what just happened recently? Like the whole tornado scene in Man of Steel. Really? Tornadoes happen all the goddamn time. Really? Like, why is this such a big deal? Why didn't Twister get cut? Like, I'm sure there was plenty of tornadoes during that day. Hell, and if we want to follow that sense, the movie shouldn't come out at all. It's all about tornadoes and terrible events that are going on. No, like really, it's not the director's fault. So why should they cut their movie to fulfill other people's ideals? Like, oh, I'm very sensitive about the issue. Honestly, they can go screw themselves. No, there's no reason for a director to change their work drastically or even minorly due to recent events. Even if it's in bad taste, in my opinion. I don't say I don't care, but like, it's the director's vision. Some people are really, really, really uptight and really sensitive to really not important reasons.
So this is really a question of integrity. If a filmmaker changes a film for any reason other than that they believe it is the best artistic decision for that film, then that means they don't believe in the film, they don't have any integrity, and it's probably not a film that you should pay any attention to. A filmmaker has no obligation to respond to the public or react to the public or placate the public. If a whole lot of people die and then a filmmaker wants to make a film about that, I believe they totally should. It can be a terrible film that no one should ever see. It can be totally morally reprehensible, but changing the film just because of a public outcry, or changing anything because of a public outcry, at least anything artistic, it strikes me as wrong, because a film is a vision, or any piece of art is a vision, and that vision can't make everybody happy. That's how art gets ruined and watered down. Entertainment, sure, change entertainment to reflect how people feel, but you really can't change art.
Well, mainly no. I believe that directors and artists should be able to choose to change their art as they see fit. Whether or not they see a relationship between themselves and a tragedy is up to them to decide, essentially. There's a book by John Spidelity called Hoover Goes to Hollywood, and it follows the FBI's attempt to manipulate Hollywood films in light of the domestic threat of communism. In particular, Charlie Chaplin did not respond at all to these actions. He chose to still display his film's slapstick in all its glory. He didn't see any sort of message or communist sympathy within his films. Now, Charlie Chaplin did not respond to any recent events, but Zack Snyder very recently has. Now, to many contemporary audiences, that may appear slightly distasteful. The tornado scene is the one I'm talking about in particular. But really, that's only going to be disgusting to us right now. Art over time is seen differently, interpreted differently, and really, artists create different meanings and messages for audiences of different time.
I think the answer is yes. Unless that movie is about those real life events, in which case you should have known that you were putting something on the screen. So, in the case of Gangster Squad, where they removed the movie scene, that needed to be done. You're just offensive if you're not doing it, and there is a line, and it can be crossed. The Superman scene with the tornado, having seen the movie, isn't really across that line. But what does make it different? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's because it's a natural disaster, not man-made, but I'm sure someone could come up with an example of a time they changed a movie. I can't do it off the top of my head, but it changed the movie for a natural disaster occurring. But I think, it's a yes if it's going to really come off offensively, and you just have to know when it is. I watched the Superman and didn't think the tornado scene was offensive at all, but maybe someone in the Midwest or Ohio is going to. But it's pretty far removed, so they made a judgment call, and I think it is a judgment call. But if it comes down to it, the answer is yes. They need to edit movies when something in it is offensive to a tragedy. They now put Frosties in cones. Yeah. Actually not as good. Because Frosty is an ice cream, and you put it in a cone, you realize it's not ice cream.